Today we are back on Temu.com, trying to find some of the cheapest, coolest, and maybe even scuffest tech on the internet. We'll go for it. Oh, I haven't seen one of these things in forever. This is a portable DVD player with a 14.1-inch screen. Wait, this is massive. Oh, and it's region-free as well. 50 bucks? Man, these things have come down in price. I mean, honestly, I shouldn't really be all that surprised considering no one's really buying DVDs anymore. What the f? Temu thinks I'm a bot? The boat. Cool. What is bro staring at? Dude, are you okay? Oh, it's a hanging table. That's kind of sick. I don't really have a use for this, but seriously, this image, kind of funny. Oh, here's a fun one. We have a claw machine. This one looks like a smaller version of what you would see at an arcade, presumably meant for kids to put in their room. I would definitely use some of what they provide for filler, but I'd like to fill it with my own plushes and whatnot. Honestly, I think with a little bit of ingenuity, I could put my own custom branding on it and make this a really cool set piece. Oh. I looked at this picture for a second and I was like, that's a desk. Why would they put a bug zapper where your knees are? Portable multi-purpose folding ladder, walkable A-frame. What the hell does that mean? Somehow that don't seem safe at all. But I see how this could be useful though. There are plenty of times when I've had to, while on a ladder, shift over a little bit. This could make things a little easier, maybe at the risk of being slightly dangerous. My face when people call me Ned. It thinks I'm a robot again. What the heck? Cool. Oh, hell yeah. Here we go. So now that it is finally hot here in Southern California, don't know why it took all the way till August to hit the hundreds. But this appears to be a cooling waist belt with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery. I think if I am correct, this has 2 sets of cooling plates and 2 sets of fans, and it will just blow cool air from your waist up your shirt. Which sounds a bit TMI, but I hear that these things are the bee's knees, especially when it's blistering hot. So I'm kinda hype about this, and it's only $34. Small fit, I can fix that issue, doesn't really blow hard, but we'll have to see. Used at work, not a good product, starts to overheat in use. We're talking about the cooling belt, right? What the heck? Is that a biting stick? Oh, it's for weight training. All right, I got a bunch of stuff in my cart, so let me check out here, and we'll be back in just a moment when all the stuff finally shows up. Before we continue on, I'd like to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, Saily. Now, if you've ever traveled internationally, you know the pain of dealing with data roaming. Either you are paying insane fees to your carrier or are hunting for Wi-Fi wherever you go. But that is where Saily comes in. It is an eSIM app that gives you local data in over 200 countries, and setup is a breeze. So I'm actually on vacation right now in Tokyo using Saily, and I downloaded it on my Z Fold 7. Though it does work on any other Android or iOS device that supports eSIM. And again, the process was really easy. I selected Japan as my destination, looked through a bunch of different plans, and picked the one that was right for how long I'm in the country. And what's really cool is they have a bunch of regional and global options if your trip includes country hopping. The whole setup honestly took like 2 minutes, which is awesome because now you don't have to wait in lines anymore at the airport to buy a physical SIM card, and you don't have to swap it out with your home one and potentially lose it. All I did was set it up at home, and when I landed here in Japan, lit it up, and boom, ready to go with an instant connection. Plus, they've even got this built-in ad blocker that can save you up to 28% on data usage, which is nice when you're trying to stretch those gigabytes as much as possible. For the week that I've been using Saily, my 5G connection has been rock solid all the way through. Not to mention, the prices are way better than roaming with your home cellular network, and also there is 24/7 support should you need it. Download Saily for your next trip by visiting Saily.com/Denki and use promo code Denki for an exclusive 15% off any data plan. Huge thanks again to them for sponsoring this portion of the video. And now, back to the show. This next item is quite large for our unboxing desk, but it is our telescopic ladder. Now, as a dude that's not particularly tall at 5'6", having a ladder, especially in Denki Studio, is something that I've been wanting for quite a while. Plus, apart from being potentially useful for me in the studio, what caught me with this ladder on Temu.com was the fact that supposedly you can sort of move it around while you are up on the ladder, so you can tackle things along your wall without having to go up and down the ladder to shift its position. Am I to trust it? I don't know. There's only one way to find out, isn't there? Ladder is rising. That is high. It might be a little too high for what I would trust coming from Temu, but for science. I'm not dead yet. Okay, I realized what the issue is with this ladder. It is a telescoping ladder, but you're not supposed to use it in any of the middle heights. You're only supposed to use it at minimum or maximum, which is kind of annoying because this ladder, when fully extended, is kind of more than what I need by a lot. But now that I understand this ladder a bit more, let me go into the other room and actually try this out with a task that actually will take advantage of the full height. All right, so here in the other room, I have this poster to take down. Now, if this set looks familiar, that's because this is of the Broke vs. Pro that I shot with Austin Evans on his channel. Definitely go check that out. But yeah, walking up to this poster, you can see that it is quite a bit taller than me. It's probably not high enough to really max out the use on our ladder, but since I have it, I might as well. Something really handy here is that it actually has this strap to keep all of these levels in place, because otherwise they would just shift around in transit. I don't necessarily feel the most comfortable, but I will say that if you keep your movements pretty small, I think you'll be fine. I got one nail behind me, and I could try to get up on the ladder and shift it with my own two legs, but with how wobbly this ladder is, probably not a good idea. Now we'll just roll this up, this gigantic map of New York City here. Maybe I will try to move on the ladder while I'm on top of it. So first things first, let's make sure we're full spread here. Okay. Let's get up on the ladder here. I do not like that at all. Oh. Yeah, no. No. I'm chickening out. Yeah, that's a no-go for me, man. I will say maybe if you are someone that does work on ladders all day, like if you're a painter or a drywall installer, perhaps you're experienced enough to actually straddle this thing where you can walk on it like you're on stilts. However, for someone like me with none of that experience, hell, even getting on top of this ladder felt so freaking sketchy. And I have a whole rest of a Temu video to shoot, so yeah, I'm chickening out, but maybe it's for the better. All right, we have a very tiny package with a lot rattling inside of it. Inside, we have, our mini phone. Look at the back of the box, and it says that this is the XS 18 Pro, and this is tiny. It also turned itself on. Welcome! And looking at the interface, this is definitely running Android. In fact, we got a Google Play Protect notification right on the home screen. And before I actually dive in to use this XS 18 Pro, look at the size difference compared to my iPhone 16 Pro Max. Obviously, I do have a case on my iPhone 16 Pro Max, which makes the profile slightly larger than stock. But even still, you can kind of imagine without the case that it completely engulfs the mini iPhone. Unlocking the XS 18 Pro, and again, it does seem like we are treated to some version of Android. This is running Android 9.0. Bro, we are on Android 16, which means this is a whole 7 versions back. Also, something that's not particularly great, especially at first glance, is this display. Now, I can give it some credit because this is on a tiny smartphone, but yeah, these viewing angles, not particularly hot, and The forehead and chin on this are absolutely massive. These bezels are definitely a thing of the past. Oh, I also realized something pretty funny about this. If you look at the battery tab here on our settings screen, it says that we are currently at 87%, and it's going to last till about 3:15 p.m. But according to this phone, it is almost 1 p.m. So supposedly, from 87%, this will have about a 3-hour battery life. Not great, in my opinion, though. Again, can I really fault this all too much? This is a tiny phone, and as a result, probably has a small battery to boot. Also, being 7 years of Android updates back, I am curious to see what the Play Store situation is. Okay, this thing cannot connect to Wi-Fi. I don't know why, and I'll be real, I don't have the patience to troubleshoot it right now because I have a lot of other products to look at. Oh yeah, that's got to be some quality right there. Got myself a prop. We have Usada Pecora from HoloLive. Let's try out the video capabilities on here. Supposedly it is good for 720p HD. Oh, and how could I forget? I gotta use the selfie camera as well. Let me know what you think about this phone's cameras in the comments. But how much did we spend on this? $34.18. Honestly, not as bad as I thought. If this thing was like 80 bucks or something, I probably would have thrown a bigger fit. But for novelty, less than $35? Huh. Next product we are taking a look at is a portable printer. Now, I'm low-key excited to check this one out because just like some other printers we have bought from Temu in the past, this one uses a thermal process as opposed to inkjet that you would have in your printer at home to actually print stuff. But unlike those ones we've taken a look at in the past that print in black and white and generally in low quality, this one is supposedly pretty high in resolution and, most importantly, will print in color. Now, unlike those other cheap thermal printers that we bought from Temu, this one did cost us a pretty penny, somewhere in the neighborhood of $100, which means expectations are pretty high. Pretty helpfully, they give us QR codes on everything we're gonna need, from app downloading to the installation and connection instructions, so that's pretty helpful. We also have this thing, which I'm sure is helpful for the actual thermal process for printing, as well as some paper to actually print on. Most importantly, in here, we have the printer itself, which, might I add, does actually look quite nice with this minimal aesthetic. Loading the mag. There we go. And I guess we're good to go. I'm going to set the app up on my phone and let's get some printing done. Okay, I found a photo of my car that I took in the canyons a couple of months ago, edited it in Lightroom, shot it on a Fuji X100F, and let's see how this looks. Oh, that's how it does it. So it's going to print each layer of color, CYMK. Right now it's coming out in yellow. Next, it'll do it in magenta, overlay the cyan, and then it will combined look like a full color photo. That's pretty neat. Oh, dude, that looks so good. What the hell? Did we buy something sick on Temu.com? Dang, look at that. That's freaking quality. I'll fully admit, one of the reasons why I even bought this printer in the first place was because one of my favorite genres of videos on TikTok or YouTube Shorts is when car photographers go up to car builds that they really like, take photos of them, and print them out on the spot for the owners. And since I've been going to a lot of car meets lately, I might actually want to try my hand at it. Guys, come on, look how good the colors are on this. I cannot believe that this stupid thermal printer actually did a good job. Though maybe I shouldn't be surprised because we paid like $100 for it. All glossy and everything, decent resolution. There is a bit of moire, but that might be more the camera. Long term, I will definitely have to see where the costs are, especially when it comes to the film refills and the paper. But at least for right now, color me impressed. This next item is looking pretty large. I'm excited to see what's inside of here, but before I unwrap it, if you guys are enjoying the content, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and There's also a new feature on YouTube called Hype. If you hype this video up, it will help boost it in the algorithm. It would be greatly appreciated. But yeah, let's see what's inside. Ah! Doll machine. Oh! It's our crane game. Sick! Now, of course, if you remember from our ordering scene, this is not supposed to be a full-fledged crane game like you would see at the arcades, but rather a toy version. But even still, for novelty, this is looking pretty badass. On the back, it looks like we can power it via USB. Granted, it is micro USB, which is pretty gross. Also, it seems that apart from some aesthetic pieces and also filling this up with all kinds of toys and trinkets, this machine pretty much came fully assembled, which is nice to see. How do I get in here? Got 2 clips on the bottom, and there we go. Easy access. So it already comes with a bunch of prizes, though there's nothing really stopping you from including your own. Also, if I put the hat back on for 1 second, you'll see that we get this plate, which we can put right over here. And this is neat because it does come with a branding sticker to put right here. Though there's nothing really stopping you from making your own branding and slapping your own sticker on there, which is probably what I'm gonna do. A Denki branded crane game. Let's go. All right, 30 minutes later, and I'm finally all set up with the crane game machine. In particular, I'm really proud of the signage I was able to make in a short amount of time. I just took our channel assets, printed them out on standard printer paper, and it honestly looks pretty decent, though I think I'll double back and do some higher quality prints later. But I mean, come on, tell me this does not look sick. Ooh, arcade noises. Okay, so first I have some credits here. I'm gonna drop a coin in. Ooh. Oh, not a lot of time to do this. I have 60 seconds. Let's try to grab one of these things in the middle. Just like the real thing. I won nothing. Are we gonna get something? Let's go! We did it! Oh, do I have to go over to the box and drop it? What the f? Hello? What? Okay, we got a toy. Let's try to grab one of the capsules next. Let's go. Let's go. I'm good at this, boys. The f is that? Okay, I think it's fair to say that this claw machine is definitely not as good as the real thing. But it doesn't have to be. For one, it is way cheaper than a real one. Also, I love how playful this whole aesthetic is. Even if the functionality is kind of whatever, really, what this is gonna be is a set piece for a YouTube studio or decoration for someone's room. And I think that makes it cool enough as it is. Especially considering we paid just about $50 to $60 for this. I think it's honestly worth it. But let me know what you think. Okay. This next item I am a bit curious about. So this is a USB microphone set. It's not only the microphone itself, but also includes the shock mount, pop filter, and of course the microphone, all for only $28. Opening this bad boy up, and here we have the microphone itself. Okay, well, on first impression, it is pretty light and plasticky. Don't want to judge off that right away, but this is definitely the pinnacle of plastic right here. Oh, looking at the bottom, it's got a knob. This guy wouldn't be for mic level. I presume that this is for the 3.5mm headphone jack on the back, which you can use for monitoring. Also pretty handy, it does have a USB-C port on the back. Pop filter, pop, 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 pop. It does have springs, but at least out the box, it doesn't have the springy motion. Maybe if I am not an idiot and undo this, it might. And that is all we have in the box. Give me a few minutes, let me set this up, and we'll be right back. All right, so we have a little bit of a setup going on here. I have the mic arm mounted to my desk with the microphone on it, plugged in to my laptop, recording on OBS with the webcam, which doesn't look particularly good, but ignore that. So the good news is that this microphone, the UM2S, does plug into Windows and work right out the box. And it does actually sound pretty nice. I have these headphones plugged in as well so I can hear my preview of what I sound like in the microphone, and that sounds pretty good. But listening to some test recordings that I've done on OBS, out the box, it's totally fine. But also, there are some creature comforts to this microphone that I wasn't really expecting. Like, for example, we do have these LED lights on here that look pretty nice, especially with gamer aesthetics, all the rage these days. You can also tap these buttons on the top. They're touch sensitive to change the color. You got a whole slew here. You can also hold down that touch button as well to turn off the light if you just like the clean, low-key aesthetic. And to the right of that, we have another touch button. This one mutes the microphone. Works absolutely flawlessly. And if you hold down the button, now you get noise canceling, which is kind of crazy. I think it's just a very simple noise gate, but even still, I think it works totally fine, especially if you have some noisy stuff happening around you. The gate itself can be pretty aggressive. I probably wouldn't leave it on unless you absolutely need it, but it does a decent job of isolating your voice and canceling some of the weird desk noises that can come up if you happen to have maybe a loud keyboard or something like that. But dang, I am super impressed with the value we are getting out of this whole microphone setup. Again, we have a really awesome pop filter, the microphone that sounds really good, and this arm, which I think a lot of people would want to get anyway. Not bad. Next up from Temu, we have an RC car. Now, it's been a while since we've looked at one of these, and ignore all the tape. I had to cover up my address and whatnot because Temu actually sent this to me as is without a shipping box, which is also kind of sketch considering the fact that there's no tape or anything on this, so this could have easily been tampered with, I wouldn't know. But regardless, what makes this one particularly interesting is that it claims that it will go 75 kilometers an hour. Yeah, buddy. Woo! So immediately picking it up from the bottom, you'll see that the cladding is all metal here, so the car does happen to scrape on concrete, or if you decide to drive this thing off-road, it should be able to take the brunt of it pretty well. And while the body itself is this really thin and light plastic, honestly, it is just a cover to protect all of the electronics on the inside and maybe add a little bit of aerodynamic prowess. This guy is not going to win any aesthetic awards, that's for sure. But at the very least, it is standard for what you can expect for RC cars like this, including a wheel for your turning controls. I do like that you can actually see the rotor and brake caliper inside of there. It's a neat little touch. Also pretty standard, we have our trim controls here as well. I'm gonna have to play around with these once I get it connected to the car. Now, supposedly on the box, this says this is four-wheel drive. I'm a bit skeptical, but we'll see. Oh, Jesus Christ! Let's do it again. Okay, much better. Bro, that went 0 to 100 fast. Give me a minute. I'm going to strap one of my action cams onto this, and we're gonna go outside and play around with our new RC car here. All right, we are currently outside the office. The RC car is ready to go. I also have my action cam strapped to the back of it. Probably not the best thing that I gave myself an extra rear balance, but at least we can capture what's going on from the point of view of the car. Gonna turn this thing on. The light is blinking. I think we're good. Oh, yo, this thing is fast. What the heck? Oh, and it drifts a little bit. The front left wheel is also lifting up whenever I hard corner. That's so funny. Woo! Let's see, what about if I adjust the throttle trim higher? Oh! Okay, that was a lot of speed. Oh my God. That is so much speed. I don't know if you could see it, but it actually left skid marks on the ground. Oh my gosh. It's like using its spoiler as a bit of like a drag pole. Seriously, this car is something else. It is so much fun, and we didn't even pay a whole lot of money for it. Honestly, worth it for the fun alone. Okay, I think I'm gonna do another run.